So I'm pulling out my harness for the first time this season, so I figured I would run through all the parts of the harness so anybody who's new to draft can kind of get an idea of how to put this on their dog and what all the pieces do and where they sit on the dog. I'll show you in just a second with Darcy. So this is Darcy's harness. It's a Wilczek Woodworks. It's going to be slightly different than other types of harnesses like the DogWorks harnesses, but they all function relatively the same. For Wilczek, this is the main part of the harness. This is the main loop where the dog's head goes through. This runs down at the bottom of the chest and in between the front legs. And this goes on top of the shoulders. This piece right here sits right between the scapula. That's like the ideal part for this harness so the dog can pull correctly and the weight is balanced on the dog from the cart. All Wilczek harnesses are going to have these little clips here, so you can look at this to know this part goes on top of the dog so that you don't flip it upside down accidentally. The next piece is the chest strap. This goes right behind the dog's shoulder blades, basically, or right behind the shoulders around the chest. So this is the part that has these little loops here that your shafts on your draft cart are going to go through. These loops also sit right in front of your brakes, which are going to be on your shafts, which I'll show you in another video. The brakes are what stop the harness from sliding back and forth too much and make the cart stay a certain distance from your dog. So that's that main piece there. The next piece is this little strap basically that goes around the belly of your dog. There's certain loops on your harness, on your main harness right here. Loops right here. This will be on the side of the dog and it sits like this. This little belly piece goes through this loop here and basically holds that part of the harness down so it's not flopping everywhere and getting in the way of the dog while they're working or while you're trying to hook them up. So that's the main third piece here. And then the last piece of the harness are these two here. These are your traces. They are what hook from the harness to your cart so that the cart stays with the dog. This and the shafts are what connect the two together. So we're going to be focusing on the main harnessing here. Let me see if I can get Darcy to stand up. Darcy, come on. Come on. Darcy, come. You got to show everybody how to put it on. So I always go in this specific order. I'd suggest going in this order. It's just easiest. You want to have a certain order and a certain method for harnessing those so you don't accidentally mess up because harnessing is a big thing that people fell on, either putting it on wrong or some strap is twisted, so make sure you have a specific order that you go in. Come here, come on. I know, I woke you up, I'm sorry. So this first piece here, again, this is gonna go with the clips on top of the dog. So I start off by taking these two straps, which go on each side of the dog, come here, making sure they're on both sides. And then I take the loop and put it over my dog's head. I know, can you wake up for 5 seconds? I'm so sorry. Next part, make sure this is gonna go right in between my dog's legs on the chest. I take my dog's legs and put them through these straps here. Good girl. Good job. Okay, so as you can see, this is falling right here where the neck meets the chest, which is where it's supposed to fall, and it goes smoothly down between the legs. Stay. Come here. Good job. And then you want to make sure everything's straight. You can see this falls on one side of the dog. It's the same way on the other side. And then let me lift this up to show you the top. Stay, Darcy. Stay. So this is the top of the harness. Her scapulas are right here where my finger and thumb are, right here. So this is falling directly in the center, which is perfect. That means the balance is going to be correct for the weight that your dog's pulling. Fitting of the harness is very important so you don't accidentally hurt your dog. Okay, Can you back up? Back, 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 back. Oop, oop, careful. I need you to stand sideways. Okay, stay. Good job. All right, the next part I always go for is the chest piece. Okay, the first thing you're gonna do is find one of your clips on the top of the dog's harness and then clip it in. All right, the main big thing you need to remember for draft is everything needs to go under this main harness. You don't want any piece such as this going over anything else. Always under. That can fail you big time. So make sure you remember that. Stay, stay. So what I do is I lift this up, I put my arm through, so my arm's underneath everything. I grab this piece and come down, I'm underneath. When that lays down, this is underneath. I go around, I do the same thing on the other side. I make sure I'm underneath, and then I come up and I clip to the other side. So, and then I always follow it down and I make sure nothing's caught, the hair, none of her hair's caught, and there's no twisting to any of the harness pieces. Any of that can fail you. The next piece that I do, come on, step, step, step. Good, stay. The next piece that I do is the belly strap. I'm gonna take that little loop that I showed y'all earlier. Stay, Darcy. I'm going to put one end of this through. I always go up, some go down. I prefer this way. I'm going to lay that around the top of the dog. I'm going to loop under. I'm going to find the loop on the other side of the harness and go through. And then on top of the dog here, I'm gonna clip it together. And this harness fits Darcy pretty well right now. She hasn't changed too much since last season. Stay. But you can see this little piece here is holding this main strap. Step up, step up. This main part of the harness here down so it's not flopping everywhere. And then this is where, stay Darcy, your traces are gonna hook right here to this, and then they're gonna hook back to your cart, which I'll explain that in another video. So that's the main thing. Again, make sure this part of the harness is always over everything else. Turn that way. So this strap here needs to be underneath. So I triple check myself before I tell the judges I'm ready for them to go over my dog. I make sure it's always underneath this part.